Well, here I am again. For those of you who know about my travels, you know that I always stop as soon as I get over the border into the US to fill up with gas. And for years, I have always filled up at the same gas station because it plays unbelievably great music. From the sort of 50s and 60s. So you understand, unbelievably good music for me. And there's nothing like being able to stand wasting time filling up your car, singing along to something you grew up with. And I'm certain you will all agree with me that whatever age you are, the songs that were popular when you were in your teens, you probably know the words to all of those songs, or nearly all the words. And so I've always stopped at this one gas station because of the music. Well, guess what? They went and modernized, and now they haven't got music going on. Now they have got ads running instead. Now, I know this sounds really strange, but that's the sort of thing that makes you not want to support them anymore. So, we'll see. I make this point because it's really important for those of you who travel. I have found that the easiest way to travel across a border when you are carrying gifts is to itemize them. I know it's a pain. Now you understand, none of them are wrapped. But literally, I itemized every single gift that I had with me. Plus, I took a guesstimate of what each gift was worth. Now, I say guesstimate because, as you know with me, a lot of my gifts are handmade, and so you have to put some sort of monetary value on them. But, I literally wrote this list. I also attached any receipt that I had that I could show that that's how I came up with that number, and which was useful for the children's gifts, for example. So, but it just saves you so much time and so much talking. Because the questions could have gone on a long time, and I could have been pulled aside for them to go through all the gifts. But because none of the gifts were wrapped, and because all the gifts were documented, it works a lot better. Now, the other thing, of course, is don't try and cross a border carrying any fruit or vegetables or anything stupid like that. That's guaranteed to cost you hours of delay. I wasn't quite sure about protein bars because I do have 3 protein bars with me. Well, I found that out today because he said, "Are you bringing any food?" And I just picked up a protein bar and said, "Does a protein bar count?" And he said, "No fruit or vegetables." And I said, no, that would be stupid. So apparently protein bars are okay, or they were with this guy. You never know. The next guy you meet, he might not like protein bars. You never quite know what it's all about. So just a couple of travel tips there. The other thing is, and I really recommend this, because I travel from Canada to the US, 2 completely different types of money. There's the Canadian, there must be a high wind. There's the Canadian multicolored. Wow, you know how heavy my Jeep is? Especially with all that I've got in it. My car literally was being pushed across the road. Weird. It almost felt like I was drunk, but I'm not. Hope the guy behind me doesn't think I am. Where was I? Two sorts of money. There's the multicolored Canadian variety, and then there's the everything's green American variety. I have long since learned to keep those monies in two separate purses. So literally I carry two purses with me, wallets I should say, two different wallets with me, one with my American money, one with my Canadian money, and that way I'm not busy trying to sort out which money I've got. I just know, and by the way, the wallets are totally different, so I know which ones they are. I carry both with me all the time, and I carry my credit cards and my passport in my Canadian one, because that has my car keys and everything else, so I know I've always got those things with me. And I've also got one of those RF scan protectors, so nobody can read my credit cards. Not that they'd have a lot to spend, but I try to do what I can on that. So that is the other thing that I really recommend. Now, this year, for those of you who've been following with the broadcast, this year I decided to do a Christmas countdown. And I want to tell you that I am going to Dancember with, I believe, everything that I had planned to have done by now done. So when I get back from Dancember, I will only need to worry about the last minute things for a couple of friends. And because they are a couple of friends, it's not the end of the world. I've got the gifts, but I always give gift cards to certain people, and I still have to get those. I've got one of them, but I need to pick up another one. And so that's my next very important trick for this time of the year, which is if you've got to go to Walmart, which is where I pick up the gift cards, because that's what everybody seems to want, because you've got such an array of possibilities there. When I go to pick up those gift cards, I go after 9 o'clock at night. You basically have the store to yourself. I don't know why it is that time, all the mothers and fathers have gone home to their children, or the mothers have gone home and the fathers might be shopping, but it's not crowded with a whole bunch of carts and children. There's definitely a lot of wind out there today. Literally, as that car came next to me, the suction effect. That's really unbelievable. Oh well, this is why I like to drive in the daytime. So I'm very excited about Dancember. I really hope that I can make it all the way through, and if I can't, that's okay. I've decided this year I'm going to make sure that I pace myself and look after myself. Now, some of you may wonder, how do I keep awake for 24 hours? There's a trick to it, in my view. And let's start by saying the absolutely worst hours are between about 2 o'clock in the morning and 6. Because most intelligent people are asleep then, and it leaves a very skeleton crew of people left. And then we basically are trying to cover for everybody in that time. So that's the first thing I want to tell you. But how do I keep going for that length of time? Well, whoops, there's more wind. First thing, I try not to eat too much at any given time. So not only do I pace myself mentally, I also pace myself in terms of the food. I will start off, without a doubt, drinking coffee. I will also finish, probably drinking coffee. But funny enough, in between, I'm inclined to drink hot water until it gets to about 2 o'clock. Then I start drinking coffee again. And I try to drink, I say hot water, but warm water. So keeping hydrated is part of how I keep awake. The other thing is, I find that when I'm engaged talking to people, all right, I don't feel as tired. So that's why you see me type like an idiot for so long. It keeps me awake. Not only that, I really love it. I love talking to the viewers. I love seeing the same names come up every year. Or I recognize some of them. And so it's very exciting for me. You know, the other thing that I have to be grateful for is that I'm still on the team at my great age. And I hope to continue to be on the team for a few more years anyway, until they boot me off. As long as I can do my job, I feel that I would like to be there. And it was funny because Benji even asked me this year, what job would you like? And I looked at him a little confused and went, my job? The same job I've had for 8 years. Why would I change that? So it is really, really exciting stuff. Now then, I just wanted to ask you all how you're doing with your Christmas stuff. And for those of you who don't celebrate Christmas, just bear with me a second while I talk to those who do. We all know that from this point onwards, the stress is going to increase unless you pace yourself. And so therefore, what I really do know is try hard not to procrastinate. In other words, if you've set a goal that you're going to wrap one present a night, promise yourself that you will not go to bed until you've wrapped one present. And keep to it. And I know what you're going to say. Yeah, I'll wrap 2 tomorrow. Well, then tomorrow something happens and you don't do tomorrow's either. In fact, if you want to be really smart, instead of wrapping one present, if your goal is to wrap one present a night, wrap 2 presents a night while you can. So that if life gets in the way, you're ahead of the game. So that it would just be my tip for the day. I'm amazed how far I've got with all my gifts. I've done very small gifts this year. I don't know about the rest of you. How about you guys? I haven't spent a whole lot of money. I've done, hopefully, some thoughtful gifts. So, I've also, because it gives me pleasure, I've also brought little gifts for the people on the main core team on the Dancember team. The ones that have been around a long time. Because they're sort of like extended family at this time of year. And so I like to be able to just give them something. So that's going to be fun. I'll check in a minute. Bye.